Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Welcome to the Sunday chat, what's going to be talked about, I haven't got a clue. I'll make it up as I go along. I often do. Oh, you noticed. So what's been going on then? We've been having some cold nights, but they seem to be over. I mean, tonight and tomorrow, into tomorrow morning, we're looking at 7 or 8 degrees down here on the south coast. So we're well away from frost or anything like that. And the main thing that's allowed me to do is to get the 2 geraniums outside. Now, strictly speaking, I should be hardening them off. I should bring them back in as it starts to get dark tonight, and then put them out and do this for, a week or so and harden them off. But we didn't do it last year and they managed to survive okay. They just went straight out. Last year they went straight out in a sunny position as well, whereas this year I have put them in a sheltered position. So and that cleared a shelf off on the movable staging and allowed me to get the big cymbidium out of this corner over there, which now means I've got all my peonies on one shelf, which is good because I can sort of keep my eye on them as a set now. It's a bit of a nuisance. I mean, I know why I did it, but the 2 of them are in clay pots. Of course, they dry out a lot quicker than the others, so I can't have a watering schedule that does all of them. I've got to keep my eye on the 2 clay pots, and they run at a different frequency, which is a nuisance, but so be it. Yes, so the project plant videos, I have one more to do, which I will complete. I want to write that project off and finish it, so I will do that early this week, Wednesday, well, probably Wednesday, maybe Thursday, but I'll get it done this week. I want to get that finished, and it'll be as short as I can make it, because they're just not getting the views, and putting a huge amount of effort in just seems pointless really. But we'll get the project finished off, tidy it off. Now this coming week, my car was due to go in for its MOT tomorrow on Monday, but the guy from the garage phoned up and he said his MOT guy has had to go for an appointment Monday morning, so he's only got half a day, so would I mind moving to Tuesday? It makes no difference to me as long as the car's back for the weekend. So it's now Tuesday, so I think tomorrow I'll probably go and put the car through the car wash and just give the inside a hoover and a dust off sort of thing. I always think first impressions are important, I mean, effectively an MOT is a mechanical thing. There's things that they have to go through. They've got a sort of basic a computer readout, they tick off boxes and things. So it's sort of a mechanical thing. I think how dirty your car off probably doesn't matter that much, but it probably does in the back of somebody's mind. They're sort of thinking, the state of this flipping car, and if it's in a state like that, you tend to think it's probably not looked after mechanically either. So anyway, we'll get it nice and clean and tidy, ready for the guy on Tuesday. Yes, so that's that, and I'm going to take the bull by the horns on Tuesday. Over the last couple of months or so, my breathing is becoming more laboured. Now, I know with AF, shortness of breath is one of the main symptoms. It's one of the things that you just get. And a lot of it is a combination of not only the AF itself, atrial fibrillation, for those who don't know. It's a heart condition basically. But also the beta blocker tablet slows your heart down, steadies it sort of thing. And obviously if you try and exert yourself, your lungs need more oxygen, it calls for your heart to beat faster, and your tablet goes, oh no you don't, not having none of that. So it is sort of understandable, but when you're getting short of breath sitting down working on your laptop, there's something not quite right. So where I take my car for the MOT, I have to walk back across the main road and round the corner to the bus stop to get the bus back here. And that's right outside of the doctor's practice, the surgery, where I go for my blood tests and my jabs and all that sort of stuff. I'm right outside the door. So I'm going to go in and, okay, I'll only be able to see a receptionist, but I'm going to try and convince them that I need to see somebody and actually see somebody. I mean, my annual review on how you're doing, how your meds are doing, you know, it was an online questionnaire. Now, this, I believe, is our government's way of cheating to get the waiting lists down, because they'd class that as an appointment that was achieved on time. Well, I didn't see anyone, did I? It's not a proper appointment at all. I could have put anything on that form. I mean, I tried to be as honest as possible, but I need somebody to look at me, to actually, you know, listen to my chest, you know, listen to my heart rate. How am I doing? I mean, there's, you know, I mean, either my AF's getting worse, or my medication's not working as well as it used to do, or it could be both, but something's not right. And, you know, I get puffed out going upstairs to bed. You know, it's starting to get silly, so I need to get looked over and seen by somebody who knows what they're doing. So I will try and get that organised. So that's that. I'll keep you updated, obviously, it's a health thing. My first wife phoned me up, and there was a group, but those of you who've been to college or university, you end up in groups of mates, don't you? You know, you're sort of people. It's often part of your tutorial group or whatever. But we had a group of mates at college, and because it was a teacher training college that I went to, the guys are going to love this. The ratio was 7 girls to 1 boy. The expression was, even ugly blokes could get some. I know that's rude. But yeah, it was nearly all girls basically. So in my group there were 2 guys, one of which ended up being my best mate. He was also best man at my first wedding. So a great guy. And his other half, Pauline, and they've been together ever since. So they got together at college. And they've been together ever since, and Pauline's been taken pretty ill with some rare cancer that's inoperable, and so, you know, this is the trouble when you start getting to this sort of age. The only thing that happens is people drop. You don't get any weddings anymore, do you? You don't get asked to weddings. All you get asked to do is go to funerals. Now, if the worst comes to worst, I'd need to be asked to go to that funeral, because obviously it's, I mean, my mate's other half was not my best mate, if you know what I mean. It was my best mate's other half. But we went round as a group, you know, sort of 7 or 8 of us, and, you know, she was one of them. So we shall see how that goes. But if I do go to that funeral, it'll be in London. I presume. That's where my mate and his other half live anyway. But, you know, it's going to be nearly all their family. I mean, they've got kids who've got kids. So, you know, they're at the grandkids stage. So we shall see. But yeah, there's that going on. Yeah, we've had another YouTube cat go. Sad. It is difficult. But it happens. This is the thing, you know, if you have pets, chances are they will go before you do. Which is one of the reasons I probably won't have another one. wouldn't be very fair to take on a young pet that's probably going to last longer than I do, because it's unfair at that end what happens to your pet. So I probably won't. But at the moment I certainly am not anyway. What else is going on? Out here, we had a look at all the orchids the other day. A very quick look. Can't class that as a proper look by any means. But one thing I did think was it was a nice introduction to have a closer look at my sets of orchids. Sets are normally done by genus, so we could have a look perhaps at all my oncidium types, all my dendrobiums, all my cotyledons. I probably won't bother with the cymbidiums very often now, because there's only one left in bloom. All the others have gone now. Calinite was the last one to go. And this one's only got 2 spikes left. They won't be much longer. They're all coming into growth nicely, but we haven't long done an update on the cymbidiums, and to keep doing updates on them when they're not in bloom just seems a bit, it's a bit too much. So we will still do an update now and again, but not that often. We do have a couple to repot, one of which is this one, Tiger Tail, but that's a repot and a split. So that that's quite a bit of work, that is, which needs to be done, but not yet, not while it's still in bloom. I was going to say it's coming into growth now, but not yet. Usually cymbidiums come back into growth after the blooms go. Not always, sometimes they run alongside each other and you've got blooms that have been open a while and the new growth start. But most of the time the new growth start after blooming. And under normal circumstances, cymbidiums are blooming winter into early spring, so they come into growth at the start of the growing season, which makes perfect sense. And then those growths mature at the end of the year, and then we start getting some spikes. So, but I've had enough cymbidiums now to know the cycle. I know when each one is liable to start producing its blooms. So, but some of them produce the spikes and eventually the open blooms much faster than others. Some of them, the spikes take ages. And then the buds come and they swell slowly but surely. You sort of think, oh, come on. You know, got a life to lead here. You know, so some of them can be quite slow. Now, on the subject of what's to come, we are now going to play a game. It's a game that you can choose to join in with or not. The game is based on viewers' choices for videos. Now, I've asked people to give me ideas for videos in the past, but this time we're going to do it as a bit of a game. Now, anybody who watches YouTube videos, whether you watch it on your phone, not on TV, but you know, or a laptop or tablet or anything like that, you know that underneath the video are the comments. So what I want people to do under this video is come up with an idea for me to do. But that's not the game. The game is that if you hadn't noticed, some will have noticed but not all, the video comments have got a like or dislike on them. Not the video itself, the actual comment. So this is the game. First of all, you've got to find out how to do it. But what I'm hoping is, under this video, we can get some comments suggesting videos that I can do. And then people can add a like to the ones they like the idea of. So they haven't necessarily got to think up the ideas themselves, and they haven't even got to write the comment. All they've got to do is like a comment that they think is a good idea and they might like to see as well. So, little game you can go away and play on your own. And I'll have a look at it later in the week and find out that nobody's done anything, which is probably what'll happen. But yeah, that's the idea. I like to allow people to join in a bit with this channel when I can. And on that subject, somebody did say, isn't it about time we did another Q&A session? Well, yes, it probably is. Now, last time I announced that we're going to do a Q&A session, I had 2 people commented, oh, it'll be the same questions and the same answers. Well, there's still going to be a lot of people that didn't see the last session, you know, so a bit of tolerance. Yes, so a questions and answers session might be in order. Now, I usually put the questions video up on a Wednesday or a Thursday to give people time to put their questions in under that video, and then I do the answers as the Sunday chat. Now, this weekend Hannah's down, so I certainly won't be able to do it this weekend. And the following weekend, talking of things coming up, there is a rare plants fair at the same venue as where Bournemouth have their orchid show. Bournemouth Orchid Society will actually be there. I expect they'll put on a bit of a display. But they're there more to try and get new members. I know what they're like. And also for advice and guidance on orchids, generally speaking. So, but yeah, it's a rare plants fair. Now, some of the plants that will be there I will have no interest in whatsoever, but there's carnivorous plants going on. Cacti, I'm not really interested in them. They'd do well in here, wouldn't they? They'd go all soggy with the high humidity. But there's carnivorous plants, and spice exotic are there, and also it says on the list of vendors that equigenera are there. So that's 2 pretty good orchid vendors that will be there. Now, this venue is just up the road. Literally, it's less than half an hour away. It's free parking, huge car park. Starts at 10 o'clock on the Sunday. Now, this is not this coming weekend, the following weekend. What I might do is actually do the Sunday chat on the Saturday. That frees me up for Sunday, and I don't feel the need to get back early enough to be able to do the Sunday chat, if you see what I mean. The Sunday chat only really works on Sunday. If I post it on Monday, it just doesn't work. Doesn't get the same sort of response or anything. It needs to be on the Sunday. It's all in the name, you know, Sunday chat and all that. Yes, so I'd like to go to that. I've got no guarantee I'll come back with any plants, but I'd certainly like to go as it's just up the road and there aren't many events going on at this time of year. So that's that. Now, I chatted to Lynn about the NEC, which is Gardeners World Live. That's the event at the NEC, but the International Orchid Show is part of the event. It's held in the main floral hall, along with lots of other stuff. But that's where it will be, and it is a right faff, to say the least. But I'm hoping to be able to get a discounted ticket as an Orchid Society member. I should be able to get a discounted ticket, and in addition to that I get a discounted parking space. So if I can do that, I will go, and I will go on the first day it's open to the public, which is Thursday. So I get first look at all the orchid displays and the traders and everything, and I will want to make a proper day of it. So I will want to get there in time to go in when it opens, so that I can have a full day. Also, by doing that, I'll have had a nice day, I'll have had a nice chat to lots of people, I'll have a chance to sit down and have something to eat, and all this, that and the other, so that there'll be a big gap between the drive up there and the drive home again. So that there'll be no rush, if you see what I mean. So that's the plan I'd like to do. That's in that's the middle of June. I'll go on my own. Hannah's not that fussed, and she certainly wouldn't want to go on a weekday. She'd lose a day's work. So yeah, so that would be the plan to do that. The following year, the event is not at the NEC, it's at another place. It's not far away from the NEC, this new place. It's a country estate, private estate. So allegedly the parking will be free, but we haven't got the full set of details yet. And we won't have all the faff of having to get passes, armbands, having to wear flipping high-vis jackets just to walk in the hall. But Wessex Orchid Society will be putting on a display this year at the NEC, but I won't have anything to do with that. People will go up and set the plants up, and the same people in the main will stay for the judging, as they are part of the judging, if you see what I mean. And yeah, and I'll see them all, because I'll be going on the first day when everybody's still there. If I leave it till the weekend, I'll be up there on my own, you know, as far as people I know are concerned. So that's the plan for that. That'll come round quite quick. We're in the middle of May now, so it's, what, 4 weeks away? So that'll come round quite quickly. So that's that. As I say, that'll be a weekday. But it's a fair old drive, but there is a really, really bad set of roadworks. To go from here, it's basically up the A34, M3, A34, right up past Oxford and then join the M40. That would be the obvious route. But where the A34 joins the M40, there's roadworks on that junction, basically. Now I remember that last year when I went, I queued for 2.5 miles, stop go, on the motorway to get through that junction, to get back on the A34 to come home. And lots of people have said, you're better off finding a different route. Now when I went on the way up, I didn't have a hassle. So I'm wondering whether I can go one way and come back a different way. Maybe I'll look into it, but we shall see. But there are other routes I can take, more than enough choices. I could go a way that I know really well, is just basically straight up to Swindon, round the bypass, Cirencester, and out onto the M5, and then up. Yeah, and go that way instead. So instead, you know, you sort of one route goes over here and then across, and one route goes up there and comes back across. They're not much difference in distance. There's just more A roads going that way up the M5 way. You know, there's more A roads to get to the motorway. So it'll be a slower route, but a more pleasant route, quite honestly. The A34 up to the M40 is a boring road, it really is. Parts of it are stunning scenery, but not much. The only good thing about that road is you always see red kites. The birds, not people with bits of cloth on string. That was funny, next door. That was the previous people. That's when the woman was still there with the previous guy. And I was out with Hannah, we were just going to get in the car sort of thing, and a red kite flew right over really low, and I went, oh look, red kite. She looked up in the air everywhere like this. She was obviously looking for a bit of cloth on the end of the string, rather than a rather magnificent bird of prey. An unusual sight, you know, here over a housing estate. But yeah, so that's the sort of events coming up that I'll plod along to. And then after that NEC event, there's nothing until we get to the end of September and we're back to the Bournemouth Orchid Society show. So there's quite a gap between the middle of June and the end of September where there's nothing going on. Well, there's nothing I know of that I can get to in a day. That's the thing. We shall see. Now, we had quite a hard shower just now, and looking outside it's already dried up. But we are supposed to have some heavy showers tonight, during tomorrow and into Tuesday. I hope we don't get so much rain that I get soaking wet after dropping the car off and getting back to here, but I'll have to put up with that. I had a look round. I watered stuff in the garden today. The bonsai still have to be done, even if we get a shower. That's not enough to wet them right down in the pots. So I watered those. I watered some of the garden tubs, and I had a look around the garden itself, and the garden is quite damp. So we've had enough showers to sort of keep the garden ticking over without me having to intervene. And a lot of that is probably because we've had such cold nights and days. Temperature outside at the moment is probably only about 15 degrees. It's not warm out there, you know. It's not that warm in here. I put my jumper on just now. Mind you, that was my own fault. I fell asleep in the chair, and you know what it's like if you fall asleep. When you wake up, unless you're in bed nice and cosy, it's always a bit, God, it's a bit cold, isn't it? It's not really, it's up here. It's all in the mind. But I still put my jumper on. Yes, so the garden is still exactly as it was before. I've done nothing. Now, I am hoping, I'm not going to do it tomorrow. I don't want to jeopardise things that have got to be done on Tuesday. But sometime this week I'd like to get some more decking boards down. Perhaps do another 3, maybe 4. I forget how many I did the first time I did it, but once I'd worked out a better way to do it and actually got my kneeler out so that I could get down low with the drill, do the screws up and get back up again with the handles on the kneeler, it wasn't that difficult. It was okay. And all the tools and everything are in the shed now, so I haven't got all this carrying and fetching to do. It's all there ready to go, so I think I might have a go at putting a few more boards down. But what I'm hoping this weekend is that Hannah, who is usually pretty good with ideas, between the two of us we need to get the corner of the decking planned. We need to get what's going to happen sorted so that I can possibly make arrangements with my son for him to do another visit and finish the whole thing off. He's got all the power tools and everything. We shall see, but those are sort of outline plans. As far as work in the garden is concerned, it's really on hold pending the decking. But what I did think I might sort of get cracking on is to get the, see again, I need to borrow the stapler off my son. Would it be worth going and getting it? I'll have a think about it. It's a job that would probably be better done with 2 people. I want to get the felt on the roof. And obviously somebody holding and, you know, at one end while you do the other end sort of thing. Because the felt's actually quite heavy. And obviously it's all got to be unrolled. And we've got to do the bit that comes down and hangs over the edge first. And then the bit that goes over the top sits over the top of that. But it's all got to be sort of tacked into place, which is what the stapler's for. And then the tacks will go along the join where one overlaps the other. Stops the wind getting underneath it and lifting it up. That's the idea anyway. And I'd also like to get the shed coated up, which means going and getting some much better stain than the stuff we used last time. And basically, if I get the forest green stain in the same make as the black stain I got for the bonsai staging, that will be perfectly good enough for the shed, and it will give it a nice sort of thick coat that should last a reasonable amount of time. And that's something, you know, the shed can now be got on with. There's enough decking boards down there to be able to, you know, paint the shed basically. But and there's enough decking boards there to be able to get the steps up to be able to do the felt. But at some point, somebody, probably me, depending on who's helping me, has got to get up on the shed roof onto the apex to be able to put that piece of felt over the apex and fix it on the far side. Yeah, so you know, that's a job that I wouldn't be prepared to get clambering about on the top of the shed on my own. I'd want somebody on the steps and somebody to pass things to me and stuff like that. Preferably I'd rather be on the steps and let my son get up there and do it, but that's to be discussed. He doesn't know that's a job aimed at him yet. We'll see. He knows that Hannah helps me an awful lot here. She helps around the house, she helps around the garden almost every time she comes here. And he knows that he doesn't. So I think he was only too willing to help with the decking, as it was something he could do and has all the tools and the woodworking knowledge to be able to do it. So we shall see, but whether it's going to be ready for midsummer or not, I don't know. But there's a sort of reason that the urgency is not there anymore. We shall see. So don't forget the little game. You know, I'm hoping that people will think of a video that I can do and leave it as a comment under this video, and others will read the comments and have a look at the people's ideas and like the comments of the ideas they'd also like to see that video done. And then I'll have a look at the counts, basically. You know, I mean, obviously if a video suggestion's got 5 or 6 likes, then that's 5 or 6 people that would like to see that video. That's the idea of the game. So it's not just a comment saying the idea, it's how many other people like that idea as well. And the way to do that is to like the comment. You can like the video as well, by all means. Like I always say, don't forget the thumbs up. But in this case, there might be more than one to do. So that's that. Yeah, there's the work out here. There is still some repotting to do. As I said, there's a couple of cymbidiums, including this big one here. Strangely enough, this looks like a really big one. It's actually a miniature. It's a reasonable sized miniature. But if you take away the pot and just look at the plant, it is actually a miniature. So, and also the size of the bulbs. We have repotted one cymbidium already, which was my showgirl, but that was done as a members only video. So only members got to see the first cymbidium repot of the season. Those are, you know, the members only videos are sort of treats for, you know, for making the donation, for making the monthly contribution to the channel. That's, I mean, I spent quite a long time, you know, pleading for people to become members, and I didn't do any videos, you know, so they were getting nothing for it. And I thought, well, that's not very fair. The idea is that by becoming a member, you at least get some perks. And the perks are, on the Patreon site, you get the Sunday chat video, which is effectively on Patreon a members only video, but when you watch a video on Patreon, there's no adverts. So this is a particular, well, it's often quite a long video, and I'm sure on YouTube the adverts can get right on your throat knees. But where else can you watch anything on a screen nowadays without adverts, or without having to pay to stop them, if you know what I mean? At Netflix, you know, you have to pay to watch Netflix, and you know, there's other things, other of the apps that you get on TVs. You know, there's a yes, you can watch it, but you will get adverts interrupting your nice enjoyment of watching a film. And you can pay an extra bit to actually get rid of those adverts. You still get them all at the beginning, just get rid of them in the middle. So, but yeah, that's the idea of the members only. And on that note, thanks for those who are members. Now, I've lost a member on the Patreon site, but then I have had a new one or two recently, and I've had a couple of new ones on YouTube as well, including one that, according to my stats, joined 1 day ago. Now that could be yesterday, Saturday, or it could have been today, because I don't know where the day starts on YouTube. YouTube's an American-owned country, but it has remote centres. There's one in Ireland, which is the one that I'm attached to. And I don't know, you know, if you think of all the different time zones, you've got a new day starts in Australia long before it does here, and long before it does in America. So where does the new day start? So I don't quite know when that person joined, to be absolutely accurate, but very recently. So thanks for that. And that's Marilyn, what was the second name? I can't remember. Troud, I think it was, T-R-A-U-D, something like that. But it was definitely a Marilyn anyway. So thanks for becoming a member. It's greatly appreciated. And thanks again to all those that are members, either on Patreon or on on YouTube. It is appreciated. And thanks for those who support the channel in any way. And the main way people support the channel is watching the videos, obviously. YouTube is interested in engagement and retention. Those are the two words you see bandied around nowadays. Well, engagement is basically the fact that you've come to YouTube and you've decided to watch something on this channel. So this channel has engaged you for an amount of time. The longer you stay, that's the retention. I mean, in YouTube's ideal world, you found this channel for the first time, so it was probably on your feed, and you thought, oh, that looks interesting, let's go and have a look. So you've come here for the first time, you've watched that video, and then you watch another one on the same channel. YouTube absolutely loves that. But it's all algorithms, it's not real people. You know, it's all little sort of things running in the background that decide whether your video is going to get promoted or not. But yeah, so thanks for watching the videos. Thanks for the thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, it would be nice if you did so, because despite the name, it is free. You don't have to pay to subscribe. All it does is bump up the number of subscribers for the channel. YouTube likes to see that steadily climbing. What it would love to see is a whoosh like that, where it rockets. Well, that's not going to happen on this channel. This is a steady channel that slowly grows. And as long as it does that, I'm happy to keep it going. You know, so don't forget the old thumbs up. That's you know, you can do that at any time during the video. It's under your nose. You could do it right now if you haven't already done it. You done it yet? And subscribing is a bonus for me. It's you know, it's an extra little bit, and yeah, it's appreciated. I've noticed on quite a few of the YouTube channels, with a couple of exceptions, that views are going down. It's as though the general public are losing interest in the orchid world, generally speaking. So they're not quite so interested in watching YouTube orchid videos. I think what's stealing people are these fast scroll things, whatever they're called. I think on Facebook they're called Reels. And you start watching one, and if it doesn't appeal to you, you just scroll and another one comes up, and another one comes up. You can go on forever, and you just keep, and if you stop and watch one, then it influences what's going to come next. It's quite clever, but it can be flipping addictive. And this is all why, you know, laws and things are changing to stop the kids getting hooked on that sort of stuff. Because you can go down a rabbit hole very quickly watching those things. I've been caught several times. You watch like a clip from a film, which is possibly a bit violent, but it's a film. You know, it's actors, you recognise it's a film. And the next minute you're watching flipping terrorist activities or something or other. You've gone down a rabbit hole. And they lead you down there so quickly. So, you know, just get out. Don't get caught with it. Just get out and go back. Start again, if you see what I mean. And you've got the same on YouTube, Shorts. They do the same thing. And they're now offering them, you know, right across your banner, certainly on a laptop. You get a few, you know, sort of recommended videos, and then it's straight into the Shorts. You've got to start digging down a bit to get to the, you know, those videos that you used to get right at the top of the list. So they're promoting Shorts all the time. And it's because they are by nature addictive. I mean, there's a TV gardener who's now running a YouTube channel, and you're getting a post quite frequently, and they're popular. He's very popular, as I said, TV gardener. And so you see one of the shorts, and it, you know, it's the things you need to do in May. Well, let's have a quick look at that. And you know, then you'll get another one of his, then you'll get another one, then you'll get something to do with planting trees or something or other, then you get this, that and the other. And before you know where you are, you've got tanks and bridges getting blown up. I didn't ask for that. And that's how the kids get drawn into the stuff, you know, that they just shouldn't be watching, basically. And that's the violent side of life. You've also got the naughty side of life. Ooh. So yeah, these social media worlds, this continuous scrolling mechanism is geared up to holding you there and not letting you go. Concentrate, yeah. When I first started watching those things, I would look round and I've been 40 minutes watching them. I'm late for breakfast and taking me tablets. This has got to stop. It's got to be silly. We need to go back to proper videos, you know, made by proper people with decent sort of morals and everything on their channels, with subjects that you're interested in, and you select the ones you want. And that's more important than getting them shoved under your nose by some algorithm whose sole goal is to keep you there. Yeah, so so this retention bit's getting a bit silly in places. But we're all grown-ups, we're all adults, and we can choose. And you just need to remember to make the choice now and again. Ugh. What else has been going on? Well, we've had silly politics in this country this week. Pretty grim, actually. It's comical, but it isn't really, it's sad. But we've got a stubborn, obstinate leader who's taken it in his head that he has a mandate to govern for 5 years. That is delusional, because that is actually not factually correct. The mandate is for the party to govern for 5 years. That's the mandate. And the idea with the mandate is that they actually fulfill the promises they made. Yeah? The head of the party is chosen by the party, not by the people. And he's got it in his head that, you know, he'll fight tooth and nail to hold that position. And he just can't see. The elections we had, they're local elections, they're for the local councils and everything. They're almost a whitewash. They almost got wiped out. And he won't see it. Oh yes, it was a bit of a problem. No, it wasn't a bit of a problem. It was a total disaster. And it's basically saying that people have had enough of you lot and want to change. But anyway, there will probably be a leadership election coming soon. There's some candidates lurking around within the party already, but the really popular one, it's strange the way politics works, He's actually a mayor. So he already has a post, but he's not in Parliament. Now, he wanted to stand at those local elections, and the leader of the party blocked him, and then said to the council that actually makes that decision, we're not having him. Yeah? Because he, effectively the stupidity of it was he's too good. But they daren't do that again now, because they got wiped out so badly that any person who can come back in, you know, and become an MP, will be gratefully received. So he's been allowed to stand in a local election, which if he's still got to win that, you know. But if he wins that, he'll be back in Parliament, and then he will make the leadership challenge, I'm sure, and the others who are, quite honestly, being quite nice because they're waiting. Because they could issue that challenge now. But you have to have a percentage of the party, the elected party, supporting you openly. They have to actually declare that they're supporting you. And I think it's 81 supporters. And I think the guy that could have possibly made a challenge, you know, during this week or so, he actually resigned from his post. I don't think he had the numbers. His supporters say he did, but nobody wants to prove it one way or the other. But yeah, there's a few lurking. But out of the ones that are already, you know, in the cabinet, sort of those sort of people, I don't see anybody that would be that good. Any of them will be better than what we've got, yes. Because what we've got is so flipping unpopular that even if they try and do something good, the people are just going to reject it and just say, well, that's not what you promised. You know, they've lost the confidence and the faith in that leadership. So the sooner he gets out the flipping way and lets somebody else have a go, the better. But it will be much better if it's done in an organised fashion with a list of people that want to give it a go, and then we will then have another leader of our Parliament that was not elected by the people. They are elected by the party members, not the people. We don't get a flipping say in it. So we shall see. But even the unions, which for this particular party are powerful, the money that they feed into the party is incredible. And 11 big unions actually collectively got together and wrote a letter and basically said, as you definitely won't be leading the party into the next election, why don't you get out of the way now so that we can get somebody in who might. But as it stands at the moment, this party, if there was a general election now, they'd get wiped out. They'd lose. So, it's all good fun. It sometimes makes quite interesting watching. The opposition, the Conservative Party, which has gone so low now, they don't stand a dog's chance of doing anything, but they're still the official opposition party. Their leader puts up a good fight in the parliamentary debates, you know, Prime Minister's questions and all like that. And she asks some really deep sort of questions, this, that and the other, that the guy on the other side never answers them. He just raises another question or talks about something else. And although this lot have been in nearly 2 years now, they're still blaming the previous government. Oh, it's all their fault. We inherited the blah, 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 blah. That's wearing so thin, so thin. You can only blame the previous lot for so long. You've had 2 years, matey. And you've achieved some good stuff, but nowhere near enough. And people have had enough, quite honestly. So, all good stuff, as they say. Slight sidetrack. But nonetheless, you know, each country has their politics and stuff like that. Which was the European country that have just... is it Hungary? It's either Hungary or Poland. I think it might have been Hungary. But one of those two have just had elections, and the one that's got in is pro-Europe, whereas the one that was there before was pro-Russia. So every time Europe tried to do something to help Ukraine, they were blocking it. That block's now gone. So there isn't a European country now that would block help for Ukraine. That's still going on, believe it or not. But yeah, there was an exercise, I forget which I think it might have been Sweden, but there was a NATO exercise where the Ukrainians came across with drones and drone operators to take part in the NATO exercise, basically practically wiped out NATO. They are so good with that technology because they've had to develop it and get good at it to actually survive. They are now experts. They will be training European countries on that type of warfare. Yeah. And it's a damn sight cheaper than putting £2 million planes up in the air with pilots in. Because they can be brought down. So, you know, as opposed to bringing down a few £1,000 worth of drone, you know, which can be replaced in no time at all. So, yeah, whole new game. Well, not a game really, but you know what I mean. So that's that. So all those conflicts are still going on. Middle East stuff is still going on. It's quite comical really how somebody says they've won when in fact they haven't even come close. Are the boats getting through? Yes or no? The answer is no, so you haven't won, have you? But, yeah, that's still all going on. Price of oil rocketing all over the place. Everybody's suffering for that. Energy costs, costs to fill your car up, costs for transport for everything is up. And if the cost of transporting it's up, then the cost of the end result is up. That's your food. Now in this country, the net result as far as food is concerned hasn't hit us yet. But it will. It's in the pipeline. It's unstoppable. It's already there. The expensive stuff will be coming soon. So yet again, who suffers? The ordinary people. Every flipping time. Still, that's how it is. You know, name a country where it's different. Yeah. It varies in degrees, but it's the way it's always been. It's always the so-called ordinary people who get to suffer. But, yeah, it's not a nice world at the moment, which makes me think that when you've got somewhere nice and peaceful to go and sit, roof, some heating, although it's flipping expensive, some food, a glass of wine, it's not really that bad, is it? Okay, it's getting worse. It's not as nice as it was 10 years ago. It's not as nice as it was 20 years ago. And it is progressively getting worse. It's still not that bad yet. Not for me anyway. I'm sure it is for some. But, yeah. Right, so that'll do for today. Lots of different sorts of subjects. And the one thing that's quite dominant out here now is the fragrance of the Miltoniopsis has been overridden by the Nitida. Quite dramatically as well. The fragrance of the Miltoniopsis has just faded away. It's just been overridden by this little thing here. So quite small blooms, but very, very powerful. So yeah, well pleased with that. And it's not a bad plant either. I don't know whether it's got good roots or not because I haven't repotted it yet, which I won't do until, you know, such time as it sort of. It's got several new growths, or possibly additional spikes. I don't know, but we shall see. But, yeah. Right, so that'll do. I don't know what the flipping time is. God, it's getting late. I started late, so you know, it's heading towards food time. And the food tonight is spaghetti bolognese. So it's basically a freezer meal, but it's a homemade freezer meal. So it's one of the portions that I did in one of my last big cooks. So quick sort of 10 minutes for the pasta. Microwave the spaghetti on the plate in all sorted in 15 minutes, which is really why that's in my hand, because with the spaghetti I would always have some wine. I'd always have something like a Chianti or something like that, and I didn't want to spoil my meal by having a wine that wasn't that good, so I opened it to try it out just to make sure it's okay, so that when I sit down for my meal I know that the wine is going to be okay. Did you fall for that? Oh dear. But I've cut down my wine quite a bit now. It was getting back to the, you know, a reasonable amount every single day. Now it would be nice to be able to have a glass every day, but if you try and make a bottle of red wine last like 3 days, on the third day it really ain't so clever. It'll go 2 okay, but even then it's not so good on the second day. So you end up drinking too much. So I've had 2 days this week where I had no wine at all, and I'm going to do that a bit more often now. Like have a break, have several. It'll be weekdays. I mean, come the weekend, you know, I tend to have nicer food at the weekend as well, rather than quick stuff. And yeah, so I think we will probably do that. And so I was just thinking, there's somebody who got quite upset when I had the camera here looking out there, and there was a flipping great rat sat on the path. So let's put it this way, it's a good job the camera's pointing this way. I've just had one shoot across there, and that's the first one I've seen for a very long time. I think the disturbance with the decking and doing the work on the garden and stuff, you know, they don't like disturbance. I think a lot of them may have moved on a bit. But yeah, they're still around, you know, as I say. It's on the edge of the countryside here, you'd never stop them. So it's hardly worth trying, really. As long as they're outside and not in the house, that's okay. Yes, so I think that will do, and thanks for dropping by. You have to excuse this tickly cough. It comes and goes, and it's been doing it for over a week now. Goes back to when I wasn't well, and that hasn't sort of cleared up completely, but it's just a tickle. It's just annoying. And you know, so, well, why don't you drink something? It doesn't make any difference. You know, it would be like, you know, on those cartoons like that, you know, where they prick holes and it goes whoosh. I don't like being filled up with liquid. I don't drink huge volumes of anything, really. I drink a lot of coffee in the mornings, but it's only a small mug, you know. Anyway, that'll do for today. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for putting up with the waffle, because that's really what the Sunday chat is. It's waffle. A lot of it is ideas that just pop out as I'm talking, and while I'm saying one thing, what I'm going to lead into just pops out. That's how the chat works. There's an element of planning in it. There's certain points that I want to make, and the main one in this one was, let's play this game of, you know, getting me some ideas for videos and people having a chance to vote on them without having to have a formal vote. All you've got to do is like the comments on, you know, the videos that you actually would like to see yourself. You don't have to put the comment in, it'll already be there. So as long as some people put some ideas on there, otherwise it's not going to work. So that's that, and as I said, don't forget your thumbs up, subscribe if you're not, costs you nothing, yeah, and don't forget your hypes, yeah, you can only do them on a phone. I don't think You might be able to do it on a tablet, I'm not sure, but because it's a swipe function, it can only work on that type of unit. So it's designed to work on phones basically. And you get 3 a week, and they renew ready for Monday morning. So tomorrow morning you will have 3 new hypes to use on 3 of your favourite videos or videos that you choose. You can hype one video 3 times if you want. You get to choose. It's something that YouTube have given the viewers to actually choose and help out the smaller channels, which is what it does. It allocates points to a video, and the more points a video gets, the more YouTube will promote it. So that's its idea, and it's scaled. So it's channels up to 50,000, 500,000 subscribers. That's what it thinks are small channels. And the more subscribers you've got, the less number of points can be hyped against your videos. So the really small channels that are just starting out can actually get really high points from each hype. Hopefully you've noticed this as you've used them, but please don't waste them. Getting something that's free from YouTube is quite something. They don't give stuff away normally, so don't forget your hypes. And I will see you in the next video. It won't be tomorrow. No, it won't be tomorrow, it's Monday. I should still be able to get a video done on Tuesday, even though my car's in for an MOT, because I'll be taking it there first thing, getting the bus home. Well, I'm here then until I get the phone call to say what's going on. It's either passed, come and get it, or it hasn't and this needs doing, which is I usually get that phone call later in the day. So we shall see. And if I've got time, I will go and get it on Tuesday. If not, I'll go and get it Wednesday morning, because I don't need the car during the week, this week. Some weeks I do, but not this one. So there we go. I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.